Hi, this is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm coming to you live, and let me come on over here. Hi, I'm coming to you live here from Pensacola, Florida. It is Wednesday, our wind down Wednesday, and I am here with some more stamping techniques. I hope everybody is doing great out there. Just want to check in with all my peeps and see how they're doing. Hope everyone is well. I counted on my calendar, and this is 7 weeks that I have been in quarantine since March 9th. And have my up days, have my down days. You know how I'm sure you're experiencing the same. So hopefully this little respite, this little crafting respite will kind of brighten your spirits a little bit, give you something to do. Hopefully you can hear me, and I don't know if I have anybody on. If you are on, let me know. Let me know if you're on. I didn't put out a calendar invite just because I don't want to. Hello out there. Okay, so if you got my my newsletter, I posted the catalog cover for the new catalog. Here it is. That's all I can show you. We don't get any. We're not able to order as demonstrators, or if you're a hobbyist demonstrator, then you can order. I think it's May 5th. Yeah, May 5th. So that's kind of good news if you're looking for some new stuff. Speaking of new stuff, I've done some more coloring using the Ornate Style stamp set. We did some stuff last week where I kind of showed you how to do some coloring with this rather ornate flower stamp that is supposed to be somewhat Victorian. And I kind of mentioned that I didn't really want to do stamping blends. I wanted to come up with some other ideas. Well, I've got a treat for you because I came up with a really good idea for stamping using crafting foam. And here is my package of crafting foam. I just took a sheet of this, and this came out of Amazon, and I must have 20 sheets. They're not very thick, but I'm going to show you how to use them to create this. Yeah, you're going to stamp this using our line stamp, and you can adapt this to any stamp you have. That's how cool it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go to my craft table here on my desktop. Let me find my cursor, and there we go. We should be on our desktop. I also wanted to show you this really cool, and let me see if I can get this. I did this card here using this punch, which is in the new annual catalog. It's currently in this annual catalog, and you may have seen this demonstrated before, but I just took some scraps of my DSP from the Ornate Style set. And I just kind of made this mosaic, and then I layered it on several layers of the layering rectangles. I thought it really came out neat. I used the terracotta tile, the mint macaron, some of our DSP, some gold glitter paper, and some gold glimmer paper. Just really, our gold foil just really looks nice. So I just wanted to show you that. But the one I really wanted to show you is this one right here. Now you remember last week I kind of did some fancy coloring using the the watercolor sprinkles. Okay, the color sprinkles. They are in the annual catalog and they are on sale. Regularly 30 some, they're on sale for $16. So if you feel like doing that technique, I'd grab those sprinkles now since we're doing the last chance clear out. But we're going to do something different. We're going to take our stamp image, and I'm just going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to stamp it on a piece of craft foam. Here's a piece of craft foam, and you're going to use Stays On ink. So here's an example of what was stamped with craft foam. And I'm just going to kind of put these pieces together because I recommend stamping maybe make it 2 images. So here are my little pieces and parts that I stamped. Okay, and I'm just going to move in so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I stamped them with Stays On ink on craft foam, and then I individually cut out each flower that I would like to have as a different color. For example, like I started doing this flower here, and then I did this piece of leaf. So it should look like this. That's what your piece of craft foam should look like. I have another leaf here. I would have finished out that. You have to cut out the shape. Okay? So having taken that with a craft foam, the next step is, and this is the way I recommend you do it, is, and I have this neat little envelope here where I'm keeping all these pieces in, is you are going to take your Stamparatus. Okay, I highly recommend using your Stamparatus. And here it is, Stamparatus. Let me move out. Okay, so taking my Stamparatus, I have the plate that I'm going to use that has my image on it, and then I have my Stamparatus base right here, and I am going to, and I think I did it this way, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my base there for stamping the image. Now, you stamp your image first. I would use the Early Espresso, but we're going to turn this around because I found that a better way of stamping this, using this technique, is to not stamp the image first, and I'm using Early Espresso, but to go ahead and stamp all our other pieces. So here's our image, and let me show you. If you laid all these other plates on top of it, you have the leaves. Then I flipped it around and I have flowers. And I will tell you that you can buy the Stamparatus. It's in the annual catalog. These plates are, the individual plates, which are kind of extra plates, they are retiring items. I would pick up an extra set of plates if you have the Stamparatus, because this is the kind of stuff you can do by having several plates. Okay, there's these flowers that are cut out. They're cut out of the craft foam, and I stuck them onto my plate. And I had to use a little bit of adhesive. Then I have this flower here, and I flip it around, and I have that flower there. So each individual flower for our image has been cut out of craft foam. So I'm going to take this and put this aside. I am going to get a piece of Whisper White, and everything that I've done, as you can see, is registered, right? What I mean is registered is everything is aligned to this image right here, but I'm not going to stamp that first. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the colors. The colors that I'm using are, I'm going to use So Saffron, and just make sure, yeah. I'm going to use So Saffron. I'm going to use Blushing Bride. I'm using Crushed Curry, which is going to look like the new color, the new in color of Bumblebee. I'm using Mint Macaron for my green, and I'm using Terracotta Tile. Okay, and then I also have, since we're making this card, I have some Whisper White that I'm going to use these kind of ornate filigree cutouts that we're going to put this on, okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, let's go ahead and take our leaves, which are mint macaron. I'm going to put them in my Stamparatus. I'm going to take my mint macaron, and I want, you need to have, or I would recommend, because these are so thin that you kind of have to be careful when you're stamping this with a great big pad. Another way of doing it is if you had a Paper Pumpkin subscription and you had mint macaron, you could go ahead and use that as your you know, itty bitty little pad. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure that this is out of the way. There we go. Okay, so we have our first image, which are the leaves, are stamped with mint macaron. I'm just going to kind of wipe those down just a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to flip this around, and these are the daisies, which are going to be done in the So Saffron. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that with So Saffron. And there we go. I've got So Saffron. And then I'm going to take that plate out, and the next plate I'm going to use are going to be these itty bitty little flowers right here, and those flowers are done with the crushed curry. And you see how I get all this ink around my plate? I want to get that off. And there's my crushed curry. And then this is, let me close my ink pads because they're stacking up on me over here. And I'm going to use, let's see, this one is going to be Terracotta Tile. And see, I got to get that extra ink out. There's Terracotta Tile. And I just want to kind of blot that. And then I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to close my Terracotta Tile. And I'm using Blushing Bride, which if you look at it, it's a pretty close second. It's not in the DSP, but it's close enough. So I'm using Blushing Bride right there. And I got some ink on my flower, but not to worry. I've got everything stamped. So now we're going to take our image stamp, and we're going to ink this up with Early Espresso. And I'm going to kind of clean, it's kind of got some of this stuff around the edges. I'm going to kind of clean some of that off. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp. And look at that. There you go. Look at that beautifully stamped. Look at that beautifully stamped image. And you can go ahead and you can do a whole bunch of these if you want, if you were doing, I mean, this is you know, rapid stamping. And in fact, I did do it, and I'm going to show you what I did. I used that technique and I stamped all of these here, and then I used a dimensional ink and I colored over them using a dimensional ink in order to come up with you know, it looks like kind of cloisonne. Now these are another technique I'm going to show you in another video, but these are called a telescoping circle card, and I'll show you how to put that together in another video, so you're going to have to come back and join me. But now let's go ahead and take this, since we have this done, and again I just take my plates out and I just kind of carefully stack them up, and in the case of where I have some ink, you know, I'm just gonna, and if I need to put a piece of paper, wipe, I can do that, and then I just kind of have my whole stack of plates. I'm going to put them aside so if I want to continue and make some more cards, and I'm going to go ahead, and here is my card. So now what I want to do is, and so here's this one I made with Old Olive, and this one I made with mint macaron. I kind of like the light color, and what I did with the inside is I took some orange. I'm trying to see where my orange is. That's red. I'm going to take some, I can't find my pen that I used to do this color, but what I want to do is I just want to put kind of a little bit of kind of like an orange yellow, and let me see if I can find, I'm having a tough time finding the right color down here, but I'm just going to use this. So this is pumpkin pie. I'm just going to kind of color the inside of that with pumpkin pie. Okay, so there we go. That's done. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to fussy cut this out. And it's just very simple fussy cutting. Just kind of going around the edges. I don't know why they didn't give us a die for this. It would have been nice if they had given us a die. They gave us kind of everything else. I hope that when you're watching this, that everything is good in your family, and you're healthy and coping with quarantine. There's a lot of new updates about how cities and regions are opening up. So it will be interesting to see how that goes, as long as we can do it safely. I think that's the important thing. And I will continue doing these on Wednesday until, I don't know, I guess I break my quarantine. I don't have any plans of doing it anytime soon, that's for sure. But it kind of gives me an excuse to get on live and kind of chat a little bit with all my virtual peeps out there to see how you're doing. I see all the cards everyone is posting. Lots of new ideas. Hopefully this gives you an idea that you can try out. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my my base card is mint macaron, and I'm going to take my oh, I wanted to show you this. You see this card? This one here, I used the my aqua painter, and I used the ink, and I painted this directly on the paper. And remember, I said that the best paper to use was shimmery white. It took me a considerable amount of time to paint this image. This one, you just saw what I did. The most time was to stamp out your image on the craft foam, and then cut out the outline of each one of your flowers, and then you simply line it up to your image, and then you kind of stamp. And look how nice that looks. Very, very, you know, it's beautiful. I mean, this took absolutely no time whatsoever. So there's a time saver for you. So let me go ahead and grab. I have over here my two framelets that I'm going to use. My outline is going to be this framelit here. Just put that in there, run it through my Big Shot. And I think I'm going to need a bigger piece of Whisper White than I pulled. I have this Whisper White pre-cut, and so what happens is I have a whole stack of Whisper White in this one shape here, in this one size. But this particular framelit needs the largest, so I don't want to cheat myself. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I will tell you, out of the new catalog, they have finally, Stampin' Up! Has come up with a die cut machine, and that will be available in the new catalog. Now, I don't have any more information about that. I don't even know if it's going to be available to purchase when the catalog goes live on June 3rd. So, I don't have, I'll have more information as I get it. But I did see the new catalog. It's got lots of great things. You know, a lot of things are on clearance. In with the new, out with the old, as they say. And let me find. I'm looking for a die cut brush. I thought I had one here. Here it is. We're just gonna I don't know why that goes black like that. I hope you can still hear me. I guess I just kind of have a blimp on the streaming. So there are most of the little pieces and parts cut out. It is a little, I find if you do it on one side and you flip it over and you do it on the other side, you will get 99% of all the little pieces out. There you go. Maybe you'll get, well, yeah, 99. There's a couple right there. So we're going to do the same with this one. I'm going to do it on this side and this side. And I'm kind of using the edge of my brush. And then I'm going to flip it over. And I'm just going to run it across the same. And I'm going to get out the rest of the pieces. Okay, so there goes this piece. And what I did is I took the, with this piece here, I used our wonderful embossing folder, because I'm going to add more dimension onto our card. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay this right side up this way. Let's see, that's the back. This is the front. So you always put the front that has the Stampin' Up! Logo. And I'm going to okay, so isn't that pretty? That gives us a very nice lacy feel. And let's see. And I can lay that one right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this one down with a little bit of glue. Like that. This stamping piercing mat right here, I love this. It is on the retiring list. If you like the stamping piercing mat, you need to get it now. Go on to my online store and purchase it, because it is no longer available, and I love it for using the photopolymer stamps. And all I'm doing here is I'm just picking some of the last little pieces that didn't get out. Okay, this piece here, it looks like I got all the pieces. Oh, no, I didn't. Those are two little pieces right there. Couple of stragglers. Okay, this piece I'm going to pop up on dimensionals. And we're just going to put those on like this. And that's quite a few dimensionals, because I mean this is a long piece of paper. Okay, oops, forgot one right there. Get that one. And we're going to center that there like that. And then we're going to place this one right here. And I'm just going to glue this one on. And we're going to put that one on, and I'm putting this a little bit up like this because I'm going to leave room right here for a very small and simple sentiment that comes from, let me find the stamp set. Okay, it comes from the stamp set here, Ornate Thanks. Okay, so Kat Chancellor, Stamp Art Connection and stampartconnection.com. I just wanted to show you a fast and easy way to color a stamped image using a piece of craft foam. You take the craft foam, you stamp your image using Stays-On ink, you cut out all the individual pieces, and then you use your Stamparatus to layer all your pieces, and you can stamp them effortlessly. And it's a great way of making a whole bunch of cards very simply. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and share, and let me know how you're doing. Kat Chancellor, Stamp Art Connection, stampartconnection.com. Blessings, stay well, and happy stamping.